Hello and welcome, I'm Brook. Did you know that the number one cause of failure is fear and procrastination? Has fear been holding you back from doing what you really want to do? Do you procrastinate on decisions? How has that been impacting the course of your life? When we step out and go to make change, we need to understand that there is a big shift happening on the inside. And today I'm going to talk to you about that. It's called the terror barrier. We study this in lesson 7 of my coaching program, Thinking into Results. It is the number one cause of failure and procrastination when we hit the terror barrier. It's this invisible wall that we hit and we seem to bounce off it and go straight back to bondage. We go back to doing what we already know how to do. It seems safer. It feels safer. In fact, it feels more comfortable to not move forward with the decisions and the actions and the step-by-step plan that we were going to act on. And we go back to doing things the way we've always done it. In lesson 7 of Thinking into Results, I'm really going to teach you about the 4 stages involved in the psychological process of growth. These 4 stages have the ability, as you move through them, to really change everything for you. And in actual fact, the more you understand what's going on in a change and growth process, the more freedom you have to move through it and be in control of it. Next time you feel those feelings of worry or doubt or anxiety, you know what's happening. You don't fear it. You don't abandon it. And we so often want to do that. We want to walk away from the thing that's making us cause the making us feel the worry or the doubt. I want you to stop doing that. There are 4 stages in this growth process: bondage, reason, conflict, freedom. So if you think about bondage, you're thinking certain thoughts, getting certain results, showing up in the way, not rocking the apple cart at all. Let's talk about that. Think about that as like homeostasis. It's your status quo way of operating. You get an idea, you think, maybe I'll start that business. Maybe I'll earn more money. Maybe I'll buy that house. And you start entertaining the idea of doing something new. Maybe I'll start this coaching program. And you start to entertain the idea of doing something new. You can really see it's what you really want, and it's going to help you to get to where you want to go and live your best life and enjoy the ride. You just think about it. And then you make the decision. Yes, I'm going to do it. I commit to that decision. I'm going to do this. And you move yourself to the 3rd stage, conflict. Now, while you're just entertaining the idea, not much changes. You don't feel any shift in your body. Nothing has to change in your environment. You're not required to take any new action or make any new decisions that are in contrary to the way you operate. But the second you make that decision to say, I'm going to do this, I am going to turn my dream into reality, my thinking into results, you enter conflict. Now, this is where you've got, imagine a self-image or an old self-image of your status quo, your homeostasis, the way you've always operated, and you've got the new self-image. You've got the person that you're making the decision to become, because that's what you're doing when you make a decision to move or accomplish your goals or get involved in the coaching. You're making a decision to grow as a person, which means an old part of you is no longer required. It's like the death of the old self. And you know how to be you really well right now. You've probably had a lot of practice at being you right now, thinking the thoughts that you think, making the decisions the way you make decisions, investing the money the way you invest money. And you're about to make a decision to step out and do something different, to invest some time and money in yourself, to change your approach, to turn a goal, something you really want, into reality. And there is a part of your old self-image that's thinking, I don't know about this. Like, let me just throw some risks at you. Let me just let that inner dialogue see if I can talk you out of making this decision. And this internal banter starts to go on between the old you and the new you. You really want it, But the old self-image is making you question that decision. It's making you doubt whether you do have the time, whether you do have the money, whether it will work out for you. Maybe it'll be just the same as everything else that you've done where it hasn't quite come off the way you want it to come off. This is conflict. This is the third stage. In fact, if you're experiencing this, you're on a winner. It means that you're probably on the verge of a very big breakthrough. You have a choice at this moment in time. You can either honor the paradigm, honor that self-image that's trying to talk you out of the very thing that you want to do, the very thing that'll help you get the results that you want to create, or you can honor the goal. Honor what you really want. Honor the higher side of you. Honor that perfection that is within you right now, and go after the thing that you want with everything you've got. Don't even worry for a second where the time or the money will come from. Go after it, put everything you've got into it, and I guarantee you will automatically, the second you make that decision and back it with action, all of those worries or doubts or fears will dissipate because you're no longer giving them energy. You're acting in full faith of the goal with what you want, and you're moving yourself into action with it. The significance of making that decision and backing with action, despite the fear, despite the worry, despite the doubt, that's the growth. You will automatically experience the growth that you've been seeking. Investing in you, backing yourself into the goal. You don't need the time, you don't need the money, you don't need anybody else's approval to do what you really want to do. What you need right now is courage, and that comes from within. But at least if you understand now that this conflict is at play, and it will try and talk you out of doing the very thing that you want to do, and it will start to throw very logical, rational, reasonable arguments at you as to why it's not the right time for you to do what you want to do, why you don't have the money, why something else is more important. This is where you have to stand up for yourself, and you have to say, I'm worth it. My goal is worth it. I'm worth it. And for the benefit of the world around me, me growing into the person I really want to become is worth it. And you have to back yourself and go for it. And the second that you follow through, you crash right through this terror barrier, this invisible wall, this invisible wall that was holding you back and keeping you from this amazing success. And we call that freedom. That's where in that moment in time, you have been truly free in living and creating your own destiny, where you have no longer let the limitations of the past hold you back. You've no longer let circumstances stop you from moving forward. You've no longer let someone else's opinion, or whether they think you're worth it or good enough or anything, hold you back. You have experienced in that moment of crashing right through the terror barrier and going after the thing you want more than anything else, of investing the time and money in you. You have experienced freedom. You are no longer operating in the same level of consciousness you were the moment before you made that decision and backed it in action. You've learned something about yourself, and you're in control of you. You have experienced in that moment a level of mastery where you have taken control of your mind, of the way you think and the way you act, and you have made the decisions and backed them with action that'll take you where you want to go. That is overcoming the terror barrier. That is overcoming the terror barrier, the very thing that'll sabotage you from your greatest hopes and dreams. And as you overcome it, you allow yourself to live your greatest hopes and dreams. For more life-changing content, click subscribe. Here's to the better version of you.